What's good, my Devil Fruit Ninjas? It is C-Law in the building. Today I want to go ahead and run over just a quick deck profile over what I'm currently running with the Straw Hat crew. Currently I am running the Zoro deck. I think it's a pretty solid deck. However, there's always room for improvement. But yeah, for starters, of course, we got my leader, Zoro, with his ability to add 1,000 power to all characters when you add one Don to them. I think to start with, that's definitely something that's very, very powerful in this deck. And as long as you have him with that ability to be able to power up, you know, whether you have 2, 3, 4 characters in play, maybe even 5, it's definitely crucial, especially the way I like to play it. Sometimes I do have, you know, those 1-cost 0 power characters that, you know, I'm easily able to throw the 1,000 attack power to and give them a little bit of an ability to attack if I absolutely need to. So yeah, it's definitely something good to have when it comes to Zoro. So next up, I am running one Chopper. Don't really run into him too often, but to have that ability to trash one card from my hand and then add one Straw Hat crew member with the cost of 4 or less from the trash to my hand, I think it's a pretty good card. Whether I want to go ahead and throw something out like maybe Frankie or Usopp or Nico Robin, you know, or a Zoro card, you know, something that's in the trash already. This card gives me the ability to take it out of the trash and put it in my hand. So I definitely think that that's pretty cool to have in the deck. So I'm running one of those. Next up, I do have Frankie, 3 cost, 4,000 power. With his ability with the Dawn ×1, this character can also attack opponents that are active. I am only running one of him. I'm not sure if I should go ahead and run more, but having that ability to go ahead and attack not only just rested characters but active characters as well is definitely a plus for me. Especially if I'm in a tight spot where I only have him in play as well as Zoro, and I do want to go ahead and attack a character whether they are rested or not. To have that ability to do so, I think it's pretty awesome. Next up, we got my boy Brook. Now with Brook, let's see. I don't really run him too often, aside from having his counter ability. I just go ahead and run him with the counter. If I absolutely need to use him, I do like the fact that you can add that ×1 Don, and then when attacking, give up to 2 of your opponent's characters minus 2,000 power. Depends on where you're at in the gameplay. I never really have to do the minus 2,000 power to 2 of my opponent's characters, but if I absolutely needed to, this would probably be one of the cards outside of Otama that I would actually use for that. So yeah, for a 4 cost, 5,000 power card, it's definitely something worth running. I definitely wouldn't rule it out, honestly. Next up, I have Monkey D. Luffy. Now this particular card, if you add 2 Dawn, your turn, this character gains 2,000 power. Well, he's already at 3,000 power. So to add another 2,000 to him, that'll make him 5. That'll definitely put him in a position to where he can actually attack, but he also does have that 2,000 counter. So if you're pinned up somewhere in gameplay and you need to get out of a tight pinch, having that 2,000 counter is definitely going to be handy with this Luffy. Next up, we do have Uta. Now for her, I am running 2 of her. The reason why I'm running 2 of her is just because since I am the aggressor in this particular situation, it is nice to be able to use her ability, which is an on-play ability, to go ahead and add 1 red character card other than Uta with the cost of 3 or less from the trash to my hand. So I can just go into my trash and pull up a Zoro if I wanted to, or a Luffy card. And of course, as you can see, I do have a lot of rush cards. So to be able to get out of a tight pinch by playing this card and using the on-play ability and pulling out a rush card from the trash pile and then going ahead and going for the attack, I think is definitely crucial. So yeah, definitely one of the reasons why I'm running 2 of her. And as you can tell in my particular deck list, I'm not too heavy on blocking. And the reason being is because with this particular deck, since you are going to be the aggressor, you're going to spend a lot less time actually blocking and more time attacking. So as you can tell, I'm pretty counter heavy when it comes to my particular deck and how I run it. As you can see, I do have a lot of event cards to kind of balance the scales, but that's not saying that I don't have any blockers. I do have Jinbe, which is next up, and he is a blocker. I do run 2 of him, but he also is a 4 cost 5,000 power, so I can use him to either block or I can use him to attack. Either way, it's a win-win. So I usually try to keep him in my reserve unless I absolutely need him. And I don't too often run into cases where I have to really absolutely block with him because, again, I am the aggressor. Now, towards the end of the game, if I'm in a tight pinch, and I'm going up against a boy like Kaido or, the 8 cost kid, then yeah, definitely gonna block. But if I don't need to use him, I'll just go ahead and keep him in an active status until I absolutely need to use him. But next up, we got Robin. She is a 3 cost 4,000 power, counter 1,000, and with her ability, when you add 1 Don, when attacking, you can KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a 3,000 power or less. I like using this card. I run 2 of her normally when I'm playing up against any deck, just because I feel like to be able to KO 3,000 power or less character cards, I feel like she's very, very good for it, especially for, the cost, to be able to play her for 3 and then be able to use that ability for only 1 Don. I think it's pretty cool, just to knock out some of those low cost characters that could potentially be a threat. Next up, I am running Usopp. Now, Usopp is a 2 cost 3,000 power with a 2,000 counter, and looks like he has Dawn times 1, your turn, once per turn, draw 1 card, whether your opponent is, draw 1 card when your opponent activates an event. Me personally, I never really find myself in a position to where I need to use this ability. I either use him as an attacker or I use him for the counter. Once in a blue moon, I will use this ability, but for the most part, definitely attacking and counter. I am running 1 of him, and up next, got my boy Luffy again. So this particular card is one of the promos that I got. I'd be lying if I tell you how long ago I had this, but I've had it for quite some time. But he's a 6 cost, 7,000 power beast card. So when you play him, he's automatically going to have that 7,000 power. You use Zoro's effect, that makes him 8, and you can beef him up even more. He's definitely a threat. For the simple fact that if you add 2 Dawn to him, it activates Rush. So think about it this way. You already got him at 7,000 power for 6 costs. Use Zoro's ability to make his power 8,000. On top of that, if you have 2 Dawn and you go ahead and activate the rush, I mean, that changes that 8,000 power to a 10k swing. So, yeah. All I can say when it comes to playing this card, you better be blocking. Otherwise, you're definitely getting knocked down. Next up, we got my boy Sanji. I am running 4 of him because I feel like I have to. He's a rush card. And with his particular ability, if you add 2 Dawn to him, it activates Rush, so then that makes him a 6,000 power character at 2 costs. And then, of course, he can just rush into any of your opponent's characters that are in play as long as he's able to beat them. If you add this in conjunction with Jambe, perfect. I feel like, honestly, if you use Jinbe with any of the Straw Hat Crew type characters, I mean, yeah, you're not going to be able to block the swing that's coming. So, be ready. So, yeah, 4 of him. And then I have Luffy that I am also running 4 of. He's also a rush card, 5 cost, 6,000 power. When you add 2 Dawn to him when attacking, your opponent cannot activate a blocker during this battle. So, yeah, as I stated before, Zoro's effect, 7,000 power to this Luffy. 2 Dawn added to him. That turns that 7k into a 9k real quick. And also making it to a point where your opponent can't attack. Or, sorry, can't attack. Cannot block. So yeah, definitely one of the more heavy hitters that I have in my deck. And I'm running 4 of him again. Up next, I have Zoro, which I'm also running 4 of. He is also a rush character as well. Now, he doesn't require any additional Dawn to be added to him to activate his rush. Pretty much you put 3 Dawn down on him. He's already at 5,000. You use Zoro's ability that gives him 6,000, and then he goes in for a rush. You can even add additional Dawn to him if you want to beef him up even more, which, since you don't have to waste any additional Dawn to activate a rush, it's going to be a devastating swing. So, running 4 of him, and then I got my girl Otama. Now, don't get me wrong, 1 costs 0 power, but she has that counter 2,000, which I think is awesome for this particular card, because she's 1 cost, 2,000 counter, and with her on play ability, you get to minus 2,000 power to any of your opponent's characters, except for the exception of maybe the leader. But yeah, say for instance, you're going up against Big Boy Kaido, or you're going up against Use's Kid, especially one of the more annoying ones where Kid has the ability to where if you activate it, you can't attack any character other than Kid. This card definitely comes in handy because you get to minus the 2,000 power, and then you get to beef up one of your other characters that you have in your lineup to go ahead and go for the kill. So as long as you can go ahead and minus that power to that Kid and then swing way over the Kid, or even do the same with Kaido, you're definitely going to win that battle. So yeah, that's definitely one of those cards that I run 3 of. At one point I was running 4, but I don't come into this card super often enough to the point where I need to run 4. So that's pretty much it for her. Now, this deck wouldn't be this deck without my girl Nami. So for 1 cost, 1,000 power with a 1,000 counter, she's pretty straightforward. But her ability allows you to, once per turn, give 1 rested Dawn card to your leader or one of your characters. So I'm gonna be quite frank with you guys. I never really attack with her at all. I normally leave her in an active status, and I just recycle her ability constantly. As long as I can keep her in play, I'm golden. But the moment I have to use her, or the moment I have to use her card as a counter, unfortunately, I have to. But for the most part, she's always in play. I never take her off the board. Up next, we do have my alt art Nami, which I'm so proud of. She is a 1-cost 2,000 power with a 1,000 counter. This particular card is a searcher card, and I run 2 of these. Now, with this particular card, it has an on-play ability where you can look at 5 cards from the top of your deck, reveal 1 Straw Hat Crew type character other than Nami, and add it to your hand. Then place the rest at the bottom of the deck in any order. I run 2 of these just because if I go ahead and I have a hand that I'm not cool with at all, I need to mulligan, I'm still in a situation where I don't have the best hand, having her search ability is crucial, because I do have that opportunity to put the cards that I want to play in my hand, so that way I can play them. She is definitely one of the ones that I like to keep in play, and if I have to trash her for any reason, recycle her out with Uta, and we go at it again. But yeah, nice card. Love that card. Love the ability that it has. Up next, we got my boy Shanks. I run 2 of him, just because why not? I have 2 different versions of this particular card. I don't have the manga one, unfortunately. I'm still gonna push to get it though, because I feel like if I'm gonna collect these cards, I definitely gotta have that manga Shanks. So I'm definitely going for that. But with this particular card, I love to play it when I can. It is a 9-cost 10,000 power card with an instant rush ability. But when you are attacking, your opponent cannot activate a blocker character that has 2,000 or less power during this battle. So if it's an end game and you play him and he's going for a swing, if you have a blocker that has 2,000 or less power, yeah, it's gonna rush straight through that. So bye bye blocker, and yeah, we're going for that kid every time. We're going for that Kaido every time, because that Kaido ability where literally he just obliterates everyone on the field, I can't handle it. But yeah, sometimes it happens, and sometimes you just got to put yourself in a position to where you got to stay ready. So next up, we got my boy Sanji again. Now, although I don't ever use the active main on this particular card, because I haven't been in a position where I had to use it, just because it takes away your life, the counter 2000 is where it's at for me, honestly. It's a low cost 2 with 3,000 power, and you do have the ability to add additional power to this character just by adding Dawn to it. But the active main on this particular card, once per turn, you may add 1 card from your life area to your hand. This character gains 2,000 power during this turn. Then give this character up to 2 rested Dawn cards. It's a little much, so I don't really use the ability so much. I'm most likely use this card either to do a straight up attack, or I will go ahead and use it for my defense. Especially with that 2,000 counter, I feel like you can't beat that. So I run 2 of those. Now, as I stated before, my deck is pretty event card heavy. So I have 4 jet pistols. Now, the jet pistol to me it has taken me out of so many bad situations, and I've actually been able to win quite a bit of matches because of this card. It's 4 costs, main, KO one of your opponent's characters with 6,000 power or less. Also has a trigger ability to activate this card's main effect. So if this is actually in your life, this is the effect that it gives. This card is majority of the time unstoppable. I can definitely see why, other players that play with other decks are like, dang, he's hit me with the jet pistol. Yeah, I have to. It's necessary. I'm going for the win. But yeah, running 4 of those. Next up, I got 4 Jambes that I am running. This pretty much is a 1-cost card, and you select one of your Straw Hat Crew type characters or leader. Your opponent cannot activate a blocker when this card is played. So, you put that 1 Don down, throw this card down, and then any of the Straw Hat characters or your leader that you want to apply this to, their attack automatically becomes unblockable. The trigger on this card as well is KO one of your opponent's blocker characters with a cost of 3 or less. So if this is in your life, boom, it's done. Get out of your blocker. But yeah, I'm definitely running 4 of those because I feel like that's necessary. Next event card that I have here is the Gum Gum Fire Fist Pistol Red Hawk. I'm only running 3 of these in my deck currently, just because, I got the jet pistol that is already doing devastating damage to my opponent's characters. But it is a 2-cost. Counter up to one of your leader or character cards gains plus 4,000 power during this battle. Then KO up to one of your opponent's characters with 4,000 power or less. So yeah, so if I play this card, I essentially gain 4,000 power, and then I can KO any of my opponent's characters with a power of 4,000 or less. So I think that's pretty cool for a 2-cost card. And it does have a trigger ability where you can give up to one of your opponent's leader or character cards minus 10,000 power during this turn. I haven't actually been in a position where I had to use this as a trigger effect yet, but if I did have to use it, wow, that's a blow, a serious blow. So one of my reasons for running 3 in this deck, because I feel like if it comes up as a trigger, you're done. If I have to use it as a 2-cost, 9 times out of 10, countering your attack, and I'm gonna go for the kill. Next up, we do have another event card that I'm only running 1 of, and that is going to be in 2 years at the Sabaody Archipelago. Now, this is also a searcher card at 1 cost. For the main ability, you can look at 5 cards from the top of your deck, reveal up to 1 Straw Hat Crew type character card, and add it to your hand. Then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. So like Nami, it's just an overall good searcher card. It doesn't limit you to a specific character, which is cool. So I feel like having 1 searcher that has the ability to search pretty much anything is definitely something that you need to have with this particular deck. So yeah, again, I run 1 of these, and if I'm not mistaken, I did actually read something in regards to this particular card being able to search other event cards outside of just character cards. I could be wrong on that, but yeah, this is definitely, regardless, a good card to have in your hand. And let's see here, we also have Thousand Sunny. Now, I was pretty skeptical at first on whether I should actually run this or not, but I'm running it. 2 costs, activate main. You may rest the stage. 1 Straw Hat Crew type character or leader card on your field gains 1000 power. So in addition to the power that Zoro already gives you, you get another 1000 power to throw at any of your characters or leader when you play this at 2 costs. So yeah, I run one of those because it's not one of those things as of yet where you can actually banish this from the board. So it's only necessary that I have one. And then last up, outside of the Dawn card, which we already know what that does, we got the 4 cost round table. This is my answer to Kaido. This is my answer to Kid, 8 cost Kid. If I get this in my hand, I'm minusing 10,000 power. So you're gonna either go negative, or I'm going to get your power down to a point where I'm swinging over your character each and every time. This is an awesome card. I don't think I will ever take this out of this particular deck, just because it is a complete powerhouse when it comes to the heavy hitters that you'll go up against. The Kaido that I'm referring to, he's pretty powerful. He's 12k. So to be able to minus 10k and only make him 2k, yeah, I'm coming for that every time. That's my answer. That's what I'm sticking with. But yeah, that's pretty much what I'm running when it comes to the Zoro deck. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys have any feedback or anything, don't hesitate to let me know. I'm always down to listen to any constructive feedback. I've played test with this several different times. I've lost some, I've won a lot, but this is definitely something that I'm going to continue to run until, something else comes up that's maybe better. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and thank you so much again for watching, and thank you for being a part of the Hidden Straw Hat Village. And as I would always say at the end of every video, peace. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is C-Law with the Hidden Straw Hat Village. As promised, I'm going to go ahead and run the giveaway for the Worst Generation sealed copy. I'm going to go ahead and shuffle the names for you guys, and then we'll go ahead and get this thing cracking. So, without further ado, the shuffle begins. Alright, and now we're going to go ahead and run it, and congratulations to whoever wins, and good luck to every single one of you guys. And the winner is... Mari Martinez for the win. Congrats. Stay tuned. We will continue to run some more giveaways. Keep it locked.